The Japanese have overrun one of our observation posts and captured an entire platoon of troops. One of the officers there was working directly for Pacific Theater Command. If the enemy discovers his identity, they will show no restraint in finding out what he knows. We need him, and the rest of the prisoners out there. But the POW camp is on an island fortress. You are to neutralize the prison's defenses and breach the cell block walls. A commando strike force will land on the beach. With your support, they will escort the POWs from the island. As Lieutenant Commander Callahan is still recovering from the wounds he received from your last mission, you are temporarily assigned command of Easy Squadron's 4 Corsairs.
Heads up, pilots, we've got company. Multiple targets coming in.
Will.
Roger that. Too easy, boys. Not even a warm-up. Wing leader, I've spotted a radio tower. We better take it out before they call in for reinforcements.
Form up, people.
Yes, sir. Formed up, sir. Side of Caven now. ETA 2 minutes. Both you cleared the way into squadron. We got company. Japanese patrol boats approaching fast.
Rocket attack.
Oh, attack the ship! Enemy chasing, sir. Target destroyed.
Break formation.
Roger that.
Target attack.
Attacking ground targets. Ground target destroyed!
They got an incoming from the southwest. Thanks, Lieutenant. We're advancing.
Defend this position, men.
Defending the area. We're under attack! We're under attack!
target.
Attacking the fighters! We need air cover now! Thanks for busting
How's all, pilot? I'm Tom Stewart. It's nice to see the sunlight again. Is that the new Corsair? Nice. Can't wait to get back in the saddle and take one of those dudes for a gallop. Real soon.
You a pilot, Tom? You better talk to my CO. He's always on the lookout for new blood.
That's it. We're on our way back to the boat. We have an unknown radar contact to the southwest. Check out trouble. Two Betty bombers are heading in fast. We're sending dust down here.
Attack my target.
Roger. Go after the bombers. Got it. Bomber destroyed.
We've got an incoming from the north. Thanks, crew. We got a clear run to the boat from here. You have an unknown radar contact to the north. We boarded the boats and are heading out to the northeast. Bro, patrol ahead and make sure there aren't any surprises for us. You have an unknown radar contact to the north. We got Japanese destroyers coming in from the northwest. I say we got a few minutes before they're on top of us. We've got an incoming from the southwest.
Lieutenant Quota Strike Force. Watch out. There are mines in the channel ahead of you.
It's our best route out of here, Crow. We need you to clear a path with your gun.
I bagged one. Enemy destroyed.
We have an unknown radar contact to the southwest. Good job, Crow. We're clear of the mine. Crow, there's a bunch of Japanese PT boats up ahead. Take them out before the destroyers get in.
Another kill for the old-timer. I got one.
Easy, Squadron. We're not moving any closer to those patrol boats until you take them out. These boats already have enough holes in them.
Attack my target.
I'm after the fighters.
It's time we made a run for it. We've got an incoming from the north.
Fighter destroyed!
Holy crap! Those destroyers are almost on top of us! Crow, see if you can damage their props and slow them down.
Target destroyed.
That's it! Keep hitting them there!
Commence rocket attack.
Yes, sir. I'll attack the ships.
You have an unknown radar contact to the north. That's it! Keep hitting them there! That's the way! Now take out the other one! Thanks, Crow. They're running away with their tail between their legs. That's it! We're clear! Thanks for the help, Lieutenant Crow.
The ace I fought over the Marshall Islands was Kazuma Yamashita. He was part of the infamous 13th Airborne Squadron who had led the attack on Pearl Harbor. These guys put the final bombs into the Arizona. These were the guys who killed Charlie. The 13th Airborne had the Jap Navy's best flyers, and they put them in their best planes. Callahan said I was lucky to be alive. He'd fought him before, and I was lucky it wasn't Shunagawa, their leader. He was the best flyer Callahan had ever seen, and he was racking up kills all over the Pacific. But I'd survived the fight and brought the Zero down in one piece. It was weird to fly, light as a feather and armed to the teeth. The plane was crated up and shipped back to the Naval Intelligence boys in San Diego. The guys we rescued from the POW camp had only been in there about a month, but they were in bad shape. They'd been starved and beaten by the Japs. Well, I got talking to one of them, a guy named Tom Stewart. Turns out that he was a pilot who'd been shot down and he was itching to fly again. Callahan found a place for him in one of the other wings of our squad. So ex-prisoner of war Tom Stewart got another chance to fly for his country. Callahan ran a tight squad, and before we knew it, we were brushing up on our torpedo runs and dive bombing for the battles ahead. Our attacks on the Marshall Islands only damaged the Japanese base at Tarawa. Elsewhere, the fighting continued. The Japs dug themselves in and even had a few significant victories. They sank their first carrier, the Langley, and our biggest warship in the Far East, the cruiser Houston. So far, we hadn't managed to hit them back. We started to figure we'd be in the Pacific a lot longer than we originally thought. In April of '42, things were looking pretty bad. Morale was low, both in the Pacific and back home. One of our commanders came up with a daring plan to strike a blow at the Japanese. Not on some island somewhere, but right on their mainland. It was called the Doolittle Raid. Our grease monkeys modified a bunch of B-25s to take off from carriers, something they were never meant to do. They launched from the Hornet and bombed factories on the Japanese mainland. Didn't do a hell lot of damage, but it did show the Japs that we had a few tricks of our own. They were feeling our breath on the back of their necks now. Some of the boys who flew the B-25s had to ditch in the ocean. but a few managed to crash land in China. Of the 80 crew, 71 made it back. We heard later that the Japs killed 250,000 Chinese just for helping our boys.